Hey everybody! In my last video I talked a bit about my hybrid setup and how I'm using VCV rack to drive some outboard synths, but I didn't talk much about the wiring or the modules that I was using to do that, so I wanted to do that real quick. So here are the synths that you saw in that last video, and they're all connected to my system. I have VCV running on this monitor here, and I actually have my main studio desk over here running on a Mac Mini, and you can see my Focusrite Scarlett 18i8 here, and that's kind of the brains of the operation. In VCV rack there are these modules called CV to MIDI. You can't actually see the name because I'm covering them up with these labels to tell me which one is which. They translate the signals in VCV rack into MIDI data to go out to external gear. And you can see right now I have my Scarlett 18i8 selected for all three of these, but they're using different channels. And if you don't know anything about MIDI, it's these cables here. Probably seen them before. And they can carry up to 16 channels of information, either note or parameter or sysx or other wild stuff, in one direction. So I only really need to get that data out to my synth, so I only have it going out of my interface, my Scarlett, over here to this splitter where it splits into 4, and each of these synths are listening on a different channel. So I only need that one signal split 4 times, and then just use different channels to address them, taking the volt per octave and gate to convert that into MIDI notes on and off. I could be using the CV to CC module as well if I wanted to control parameters on these over MIDI, but I'm not doing that a ton right now. So mostly it's just MIDI notes sending out. And then back in, I don't really need to get any modulation back in from any of these guys, but I do want the audio that is going out through their outputs into this 8-channel snake, but you could just use regular cables. You can see it's a pretty thick snake here going into the back of my patch bay, and that is normaled out the back of my patch bay into the interface. Then I just use the same Audio 8 module that I'm using for output, I use for input, and that just goes right into the mixer. So that's the signal flow for my hybrid setup. I know there are a lot of other devices and tools you can use to get CV in and out and audio in and out. For me, I just went simple, MIDI out to the synths and audio back in to VCV rack. I hope that helps clear things up.